And still with retail, and to the master of margins himself, Gerry Harvey, who admitted this week that despite strong Black Friday sales, they weren't enough to arrest a slump in sales over the past 5 months. Ed Boyd spoke to him shortly after the company's annual general meeting, where 81% of the shareholders voted against Harvey Norman's executive remuneration report.
Gerry, thanks for your time. Let's start with today's AGM.
Yeah.
Didn't seem to go for very long. Was it as spicy as previous Harvey Norman AGMs?
Well, spicy is a good word. So AGMs can be a bit strange from time to time over the years. So over the years we've had good AGMs, ordinary AGMs, spicy AGMs. Today was relatively quiet and subdued. So
No dramas?
No dramas. We've got the Australian Shareholders Association that represent nobody, but they do their job, and he always comes along and tries to ask as many difficult questions as they can. That's fine, it's okay. But there was nothing of any, no big contentious issue.
No fights with anybody?
No fights. And fights are interesting if it makes the world go round. And I'm happy to have a fight if someone wants a fight. But I'm happy to be peaceful too. So, yeah.
How's the Australian consumer right now?
It's been fairly tight. July, August, September, October. Then in November, that Black Friday worked a lot better than I thought it would. Not just for us, for all retailers. That probably tells you that people are out there watching, trying to get a bit better buy, all that sort of thing all the time. It was extraordinarily strong when you're writing figures that equalled last year in a Black Friday sale, but then the months before you got sales down 5, 10 and 15%, 20% even in stores. What's that telling you? I'm waiting for the sale. So then what happens now in December, I said to Kate, does this mean that we'll have a more difficult... No, it's another month. Right, it's coming up to Christmas cheer, and people will be buying in December. I think she's right. Then you've got Boxing Day. What happens now? We've brought all these sales forward. No, Boxing Day will still be good. It's always been good. It might not be as good as last year, but it might be. We don't know.
And then looking around the world, is that Black Friday a big thing in other places that you operate as well?
Yeah, but not so much in Asia. Right, because then they have Chinese New Year and things like that, and that's bigger. So, but if you look about, in Europe and things like that where we are, or New Zealand, it's big.
Yeah, I saw your Ireland, Singapore, Malaysia sales all seem to be pretty strong over this recent 6 months, really.
Yeah. Look, we've been affected all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not what it was. But, we're going okay. We'd like to be going better. It's a bit disappointing now because, your sales are tight, your costs are gone up to buggery on just about everything you can think of, wages being the biggest problem. But as one guy said there, you pay people a lot more money, then they've got more money to buy off you, so that's the other side of it. So our business at the moment, it's tight, but it's okay.
Well, inflation are you still seeing that as a pretty big challenge?
Well, my thought is that I'm trying to look at a year from now. And I think you'll be looking in a tight range with interest rates. I would say a year from now, interest rates could go up 1%, but no more. They could come down 1%, but no more. I think we'll be in that range 1 year from now. I mightn't be right, but that's where I think it'll be. So will it be 1% more, 1% less, or about the same? It's in a tight range, which is quite good because that means inflation's not out of control. And it means that, we are heading in the right direction.
When the RBA lifts the cash rate, do you notice any impact in your stores?
Yes, and whenever they do that, it lasts for a few days.
Right.
And then it tends to get back to normal. It's like, I'll give you a little electric shock, right? And then 3 or 4 days later, I'm over it, right?
So how confident are you feeling about the next 12 months then?
The next 12 months are going to be quite difficult. I can't sit here and tell you it's going to be really buoyant and great. It's going to be quite difficult, but it'll be okay. Like we're a big retailer, and we've been around for a very long time. I've been dodoing this now for 61 or 2 years, and so I've been through all the ups and downs many times. So you just swim with the tide.
The other thing the government's talked about is potential more cost of living relief to average Australians. Could that push up inflation even more and keep interest rates at this elevated level?
That's what it does. So it's, you know, it's a very difficult thing being in government to try and, you know, to try and figure out what to do. And it's extraordinarily difficult. And you can't really trust the politician because he's always pushing the line that I'm in power and I'll do it better than the other guy will. And they very rarely ever do. So, you know, trying to contain inflation, a government, how do they do that? A government? They haven't got a good record of being able to do these sort of things. They've got a good record of watching it happen.
Gerry, the other thing I wanted to ask you about was Rugby Australia.
Yep.
I know Harvey Norman's removed its sponsorship from them.
Yep.
What, is it because the Wallabies were such a bad team for the World Cup?
No. So we've just recently, we go into all sorts of sports. We go in, we go out. Recently we've gone into basketball because basketball's on a trajectory like that.
That's picking up, yeah.
And so I went to a basketball match here with the Kings and I went in, it's Americanised and it's on, you know, it's on fire. Yeah. I'm looking there. Have you been to one lately?
I've been to a Kings game and they're pretty exciting.
I know.
Yeah.
And I've got there and I thought, wow, this is 100 times better than I thought it'd be. And then we're doing the Olympics, Paralympics.
Yeah.
And so if you're doing this one and that one, then you've got to drop off this one a bit. And if you drop off this one a bit, someone else might pick it up. What we've done is support women's sport particularly strongly the last 10 or 15 years. And then when we drop off a little bit, someone else comes in, or we're in there and someone joins us. So women are getting sponsorship in sport now that they never got before. And, you know, Harvey Norman have played a very, very special role in making that happen. So from our point of view, we'll walk away and say, wow, we did that, others followed us in. It's a bit like newspaper advertising. Everyone dropped off and went digital. We went hard into newspapers. Now there's a whole heap of people coming back into newspapers. So sometimes you've just got to swim against the tide a little bit, do things that you think are right, and then others will say they're keeping on doing it. Why are they doing that? I might try it too, and they do. So that happens with newspaper advertising. It happens with sponsorship, and you're actually setting the, you know, the scene to what, you know, what happens in the future.
Gerry Harvey, thanks for your time.
It's a pleasure, thank you.